Hey everyone, welcome back to my JavaScript tutorial. In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to create a currency converter using JavaScript. Before proceeding further, please be sure to drop a like on this video, and subscribe to my channel for more such tutorials. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Open your code editor, and create an HTML file. Use the link tag to include our CSS file. Copy the code for link tag to include material icons into the project. In the body, create a div element with class as container. Inside it, create h2 element with class as heading. I'll type currency converter inside it. Create a div element with class as rate. Inside it, create two div elements with classes rate1 and rate2 respectively. Now, create a div element with class as main, which will contain the main body of the converter. Create a div element with class as initial. Inside it, create a div element with class as options. Use an empty select tag inside it. Create a sibling div with class as input. Put input type number inside it. Now, create a span element with class as material icons. Add a second class, swap to it. Use an inline style to set font size to 36 pixels. Put the name of icon inside it, which is swap horizon. Repeat the initial div, but this time change its class to target. Add disabled attribute to its input element. Now, create a button with class as result. Lastly, use a script tag to include our JavaScript file. Now, create a CSS file. Import the Yantramanav font from Google Fonts. For the body, set height to 100 view height. Set display to flex. Set justify content to center. Set align items to center. Set background image to linear gradient, with its direction as to bottom. Its first color is a shade of magenta pink, while second color is a shade of blue magenta. Set overflow to hidden. For the container class, set background color to white. Set width to 470 pixels. Set height to 360 pixels. Set padding to 70 pixels. Set box shadow to 0 pixels XY offset. 50 pixels blur radius. And color to black, with 50% opacity. Set border radius to 5 pixels. Set font family to Yantramanav, sans serif. For the heading class, set color to a medium dark shade of blue magenta. Set text align to center. Set text transform to uppercase. Set font size to 2.8 rem. For the rate class, set margin top to -1.5 rem. For the rate 1 class, set color to gray. For the rate 2 class, set margin top to 0.5 rem. Set font size to 1.5 rem. For the main class, set display to flex. Set flex direction to row. Set justify content to space between. Set margin top to 2 rem. For the swap class, set align self to flex end. Set padding to 5 pixels. Set cursor to pointer. For the option classes select element, set padding to 2%. Set width to 75 pixels. For the input class's input element, set all to unset. Set display to inline block. Set margin top to 1 rem. Set width to 175 pixels. Set height to 48 pixels. Set padding to 5 pixels. Set background color to a shade of grayish-white. Set color to gray. Set font size to 1.5 rem. Set border to none. Set box sizing to border box. Set border radius to 5 pixels. Set font weight to 500. Set appearance to text field. For the target class, set transform to translate text with a value of -5%. For the result class, set margin top to 1.5 rem. Set width to 100%. Set height to 50 pixels. Set text align to center. Set color to white. Set background color to same color, used for heading. Set outline, and border to none. Set border radius to 5 pixels. For the result class's active selector, set background color to a dark shade of the previous color. Our CSS is ready. Let's move to JavaScript. We will start by selecting some elements. Select the Rate 1 and Rate 2 elements. Select the Result button. Select all the select elements of Options class, using Query Selector All. Assign first select element to cell 1 variable, and second one to cell 2 variable. Do the same with inputs. Declare an empty rates object, where we will store all the exchange rates. Let's store the API URL in a variable. It is https api.exchangerate.host /latest with its base parameter set to USD. This will return all exchange rates in terms of USD. Declare an async function fetchRates, where we will fetch the exchange rates from the API. Use the fetch function, with a wait keyword, to fetch the API URL. Use the JSON method of response interface, to pass the response, to JavaScript object. Set the value of rates object to responses rate object. Now, call the populate options function, which we are going to write next. Declare an empty string variable val, which will have some HTML code, containing option elements for the dropdown. Object.keys method, on the rates object, which will return an array containing all the keys. We will iterate over this array using for each. Create a variable, which will hold the HTML string. Create an option element, with its value attribute set to code argument, which is the currency code. The text inside the element will also be same. Concatenate this string to val variable. Now, set the inner HTML of both the select elements, by iterating over the array, returned by query selector all. Let's write a convert function, where we will convert one value from one currency to other. It will take three arguments: value, initial currency, and target currency. The formula for conversion goes like this. val divided by rate of initial currency will give the USD equivalent of the initial currency. Multiplying it with rate of target currency will give the required converted value. For simplicity, we will round the decimal to 3 places, using toFixed method. Since there are some currencies whose values are too small, we will check if the rounded value equals to 0. If it does, we will return the original value, rounded to 5 decimal places. Else, we will return the value, rounded to 3 decimal places. Let's write displayRate function, which will display converted rate for a unit currency. Get the values from the both select elements. Use the convert function to convert unit currency from V1 to V2. Set the inner HTML for rate 1 and rate 2 elements as follows. Be sure to use backticks in order to use template literals. Add a click event listener to result button. Get the currency code of the currency that has to be converted using the first select element. Get the value from the first input and parse it to a float. Get currency code of the target currency, using second select element. If the input's value is none, we will alert the user to enter a number. Else, we will convert the value using our convert function. Set the value of second input to the converted value. Add a change event listener to both the select elements to execute the displayRate function, so that the rates change when user changes the currencies. Let's add a click event listener to the swap icon to swap the values of drop-downs and inputs. Get the values of both inputs, and select elements. Set the value of second input to the value of first input. Set the value of first input to the value of second input. Do the same with the select elements. Lastly, call the displayRate function to update the rates on the screen. Now, call the fetchRates function, and we are good to go. Here, our project is ready. Let's see the preview. It is working as expected. So, that's all for today. Hope you would have enjoyed the tutorial. Please be sure to drop a like on this video, and subscribe to my channel for more such tutorials. I will meet you next time. Till then, good luck, and peace.